Hello and welcome to Symbols for Living Tarot readings. This reading is for Libra for the month of April 2016. I do apologise for them being late coming out, but I've been extremely busy trying to pull everything together. This is my first time doing a YouTube channel, and I've discovered there's lots to learn. And yes, I do apologise. What I will try to do is publish the May readings early, or at least right at the beginning of May or right at the end of April, to try and make up for the lateness in my start of my YouTube channel readings. So again, I do apologise, but I still do hope this helps. And there are an array of other readers on YouTube that I'm sure have been able to fill in for me in my absence. But yes, so I've got your reading laid out in front of me here, and the focus will be on love, dating, the newly dating, the ones that are in relationships, and also the ones that are single. And the reading does speak a lot to relationships. I mean, there's 2 cup cards here, and there's also a lover's card, and they're all quite central in the reading. You've also got a Ace of Wands here, as where you see yourself, or how internally it's kind of moving you. So yeah, that does speak of passion and new beginnings. So for singles, it does show here that what is outgoing is the Lover's card. So you may have had a very recent lesson in love, because often the Lover's card does depict like a major kind of significant relationship. It could be a marriage relationship, it could be friendship even, but just a very close bond with someone where maybe you see yourself in them, and they see themselves in you, and you feel very drawn to each other. So yeah, that's in your past. And then we have the Prince of Cups at the center of the reading, and also the Seven of Discs. I'm using the Thoth deck, and the Thoth deck describes the Seven of Discs as a failure, or feeling of failure anyway. But often in the Rider Waite, it's not depicted as that. It's more seen as you've reached a kind of plateau. You've come so far, and going forward does not seem productive. So, you would then reassess where you are, and it's ultimately about making decisions on how to move forward. And that is crossing the Prince of Cups. So there may have been, for the singles that are watching, recent love lesson that is now moving away from you, or you're moving away from it. And you may feel very much like the Prince of Cups. You may feel very much ready for love, really quite interested in embarking on a new relationship, or embarking on love, and ready for love. You've got a lot of love in your heart. You're ready. But with the Seven of Discs crossing it, that would suggest that you're sorry, lost my train of thought. That would suggest that you feel that you've done all that you can, and that maybe the road that you were taking previously towards love is not one you want to continue down, and you want to know now, you're thinking now, how best do I direct this great love that I have inside me, or this great want for a relationship. So that's where you are at. That's where you stand at the moment. You're possibly at some sort of crossroads even, especially with the Lover's card being in the past. It does talk about decisions. So you may be at a decision point in your love life. What's coming in is the Knight of Cups. So there are new love offers that seem very nurturing and supportive to you. It could be a male, a guy who's of a water sign, sun sign, or has a strong water element in their birth chart astrologically, and or he could have simply just have a sun sign or moon sign or rising in Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, and he comes on a white horse, with, you know, all the trimming. So it looks like he definitely would, I think, for you, worth be considering as an option, because he does seem very lovely and very giving, and he's rushing towards you. But I think you're taking your time in deciding what you want to do yourself in moving forward. But he's definitely there for you, or their energy is definitely coming in for you. There will be new love opportunities coming in. At the base of your reading, we do have the adjustment card, which is all about rebalancing and doing the following your mind more than your heart, and adjusting, using your faculties of the mind, power of the mind, more so than anything else, to rebalance the situation. So maybe through the lover's experience, or the recent experience that you've had, or lessons in love, you're now finding yourself having to adjust. And that is what the Seven of Coins really speaks to anyway, is that you are adjusting. So adjusting your vision or way forward. But seeing as this is at the base of the reading, it's almost like this readjustment was really the lesson that was to be learned. Maybe previously you weren't very balanced in your outlook on relationships. Or maybe what's happened has caused you to become quite unbalanced in your outlook on relationships. So yeah, the adjustment card is at the base. It's a major arcana. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcanas in the spread. So this really is about, you know, a major turning point in your life, I think. I always look at major arcanas as being quite significant of important times of change. So yeah, I would say that this whole change is fundamentally about you becoming more adjusted and more balanced, which you probably are quite familiar with being a Libra. Balancing your approach in relationships. Maybe you gave too much, maybe they gave too much, maybe you didn't always go for what you really wanted, maybe you weren't being fair to yourself, and it's about balancing out those feelings. What is overarching in the top card in the reading is the Moon card, which again talks about higher insight, intuitive insight, looking beyond the veil in a way. So with the Moon card being there, sometimes looking beyond the veil and you know, looking at things from that angle can be quite confusing, and the Moon card does represent confusion. So but it's only confusing you to help you see things more clearly. So it looks like you are getting quite an enlightening kind of insight into maybe the undercurrents or subconscious drives that led you maybe into your previous love situation and led you to where you are now. Then we have where you see yourself now, as I said before, you have the Ace of Wands. So this does speak to you may be feeling like you've got a brand new start, which would make complete sense, you know, with the ending of the quite big lesson, and you now reconsidering and redeciding how you're going to move forward in relationships. You now feel like you've got a brand new kind of energy, and a brand new outlook. And you feel like there's brand new opportunities, and you are looking and feeling quite hopeful and quite optimistic about this new change, that you found yourself in. How others see you is the Six of Discs. So people may see you as very generous, or you may be in an environment that feels very generous. You feel quite secure in yourself, secure enough in yourself to be able to give to others. Everything seems to have fallen into place. You feel justified. Maybe you have now found that balance, you know, because the six does correspond to the lovers, again, which talks about harmony. And the Six of Coins traditionally does speak to giving and taking and finding that fairness. So in your environment, it looks, I mean, and again, it's Six of Coins. So maybe the people that are approaching you are quite generous. You feel like there's a fair exchange now in your relationships, or relationship with a particular person. And that seems to be surrounding you. And the card is actually labeled in the Thoth deck as success. So you may very well feel like you've made some really good headway, and you're very much stepping in the right direction, and probably feel quite confident in the company of your friends, family, associates, surroundings, work even. But as this is a love reading, you may feel like you know now how much you're going to give and the value of what you are giving in relationships, and now there is a more fair exchange. In your hopes and fears, you've got the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man represents taking a time of contemplation and seeing things from a different angle, ultimately gaining a new perspective, which sometimes means taking time out. So you may be concerned about taking time out. Maybe having to sacrifice in order to see this new perspective that is coming through for you with the Adjustment and the Moon card. And the Hangman represents perspectives. So I do think that you possibly are worried about having to take the time out and not get so just coming out of the love game a little bit, maybe spending some time on your own, not being so focused on relationships. Maybe, as Libras, I've got a stellium in Libra. I know what it's like to just want to be with somebody, and I can understand that completely. And you may just feel like you want to just kind of get back out there, with you feeling like the Ace of Wands. You kind of want to get back on that horse. You've got a lot of love in your heart with the Prince of Cups at the center, but you are having to take this time out to think about it. And maybe you're worried about how long this is going to take and how much do I have to sacrifice to do this. But it will totally be in your best interest, as you probably know. You don't need me to say. It'll probably totally be in your best interest to take that time out and really reconsider how you're going to move forward in a way that really does benefit you and your potential new love interest. At the end of the reading, we do have the Five of Swords, which does talk about defeat. It is often indicative of an unfair defeat. So the outcome might be, no matter how much you might be trying to push things forward, you may need to accept that it may take some time for you to kind of reach this new to really find that new relationship that maybe you want, or the one that you really want, because there's lots of relationships coming to you, lots of offers of love coming to you, but maybe you're having to realize that it's not going to be that easy, and you do need to maybe start thinking about yourself as well. This card also speaks to maybe sometimes having to be ruthless to get what you want, which would suggest to me, as I know I'm speaking to a Libra, often Libras give a lot more than they are getting. And you may have to resign to the fact, as hard as it is, it might sound strange, but you might need to resign to the fact that it's not just about all the other person. You know, this is about thinking about you and loving you, and looking after yourself and making sure that you are the one that is, is not defeated in relationships, or you don't end up feeling defeated in relationships, maybe because you have given so much of yourself in the past. It's now asking you to, or the cards seem to be asking you to now be a bit more selfish and think about yourself. And that's okay. But maybe that's where the balance needs to be brought in. For those of you in relationships, you may have just got married, or you may have just had a very the relationship may have just taken on a whole new level. You know, you may have just become officially engaged, or just officially become boyfriend and girlfriend, or got married, or maybe just realize that you really love each other, and you realize that the bond is a lot deeper than maybe you thought. And that seems to be in your past. It's not, even though it's in the past position, and usually we'll say it's going away, it may just be something that's just recently occurred rather than going anywhere. And I do think that will be the case in significant, stable relationships. And with the Prince of Cups here at the center of the reading, you guys seem very much loved up. Love is definitely in the air for you guys. The guy in your life, he's just wanting to show you so much love, and he's very supportive. He's there for you at the moment, but you are yourself. If I'm speaking to a woman, you yourself are maybe this close bond or realization of love has made you rethink things. Maybe you feel like you haven't really been given enough in the relationship, and you now want to give more, and you've got a lot of love in your heart, but or maybe you found that it was unbalanced in the other way. Maybe you realize that although you've had this heart to heart, you've connected, and he now might be, coming in with all this love, realizing that maybe he hasn't been the best partner. And that's leaving you feeling a little bit dejected and wondering how you're going to move forward from here. This situation has now left you a little bit in limbo, with the moon overhanging the situation, and then adjustment, or justice, as we could also say, is at the base of the reading. It's leaving you maybe in two minds. The moon card speaks of lack of clarity, and having to use your intuition to really understand the situation you're in. And then we've got the adjustment card, which is about balancing things out. Again, finding that middle ground, finding the center, finding the path that works, that middle ground. So it seems to have left you wanting to readjust things, or maybe the need for readjustment has actually spurred this conversation on, has been the cause of the conversation, which has then brought to light this imbalance more clearly to you and your partner, which has now left you maybe wondering, wow, You know, this is completely not what I thought it was. I was living in a dream maybe all this time. And now I'm awakening from this dream and I'm realizing that there is a lot more to this and it's starting to become clearer. But it's only going to really become clear through your intuition. There may have been, I wouldn't like to say it, but there may have been some infidelities, lies that have been told, which is again has caused you to want to readjust the situation, and again making you maybe not really know how to move forward. The Lover's card could be that, you know, that was in the past. Maybe you have had a recent breakup with your significant long-term partner, which has left you, although full of love, not knowing exactly how you're going to move forward in that relationship. But the Knight of Cups here, I mean, he definitely looks like this is the guy that has caused this confusion. He's definitely coming in to try and bring some healing in. You know, he's got a lot of love in his heart too. I don't think I'm a bit biased when it comes to the Knight of Cups. They're always really lovely guys. So maybe he just, he's trying to say sorry. But you yourself, you probably feel quite empowered by this new news with the Ace of Wands being here. You do feel quite empowered. The people around you maybe are quite happy, maybe with you now realizing exactly how things are, with the Six of Discs being in your environment position. So yeah, maybe now you just, maybe to other people now, they, you know, they see that you now have found this new truth and are really happy for you, that you've now found this new kind of balance, and you're still, you know, you're working through it, still finding this new balance. Your hopes and fears. So again, you're having to go into this state of deep contemplation and having to see things from a complete different angle. And I think maybe that's what you're fearing. You don't really want the change. Maybe you don't want, maybe you were quite comfortable, quite happy. I mean, if you were part of the Lovers, you know, duo in this card, then you would have been very content and very happy and felt very much, you know, connected to this person. And now the fear is that maybe you're going to be alone and thinking about this for a long time. But the Hanged Man is a significant major arcana. So I would say that it's not going to be a bad thing. You're only ever going to get something good out of this, taking the time out to think about it. You may also be hoping, for singles and in relationships, you may also be hoping that you do get a new perspective. You're hoping that you do see things clearly, that this Moon card does, you know, bring some, you know, that you do move past the Moon card and you do start to see things a bit more clearer. So yeah, as the outcome card again for the ones in relationships, we do have the Defeat card, the Five of Swords. So yeah, maybe at the end of all of your contemplation, you may realize that you do want to kind of cut your losses. Maybe you do want to cut your losses and move on. You may feel that way. And the Five of Swords just does talk about thinking about yourself, looking after yourself, doing what you need to do so that you are not defeated, you know. So yes, for those that are newly dating, I think I pretty much covered the newly dating when I talked about the singles. Really, it'll probably be the same thing. Newly dating, you may have just again or single and newly dating, with this Lovers card being in the recent past position, it may talk about you kind of finding wholeness in yourself, finding love for yourself, learning a lesson in loving yourself. Realizing that the relationships that you have with other people ultimately are really only relationships you're having with yourself in a way. Because it's how you feel in relationships that affects your experience in relationships. It's about how you feel, how you respond, the emotions that are brought up inside of you that make you either happy or sad. So the relationship to self and understanding yourself is fundamental in all successful relationships / endeavors. So the good news is that you seem to have really gone through that process and you're now ready for love with the Prince of Cups at the center of the reading. But again, maybe that experience has now made you really look about how you're going to move forward, and you realize that maybe the way you were going about it before might have been great for then, but it might not work going forward. So, but again, you've got lots of love interest coming in with the Knight of Cups, a particular young, or not even so much young reason. The Knight of Cups is equated to the King of Cups in the Rider-Waite from the Thoth deck. So yeah, there's a guy possibly between 28 and 35, even 30 to 40, a mature man, a man who knows about love, who knows how to give love, how to nurture someone, what love and caring is all about, feelings. He's in touch with his feelings. And he knows how to make you feel good. He seems to be rushing in here. So, he looks good. Hopefully, things will work out with him if you give him a chance. But you seem to be going on your own journey anyway, even though there's plenty of people rushing in to give you love. Or there's plenty of energy anyway coming in like that. But you seem to be going on your own internal journey with the Moon card and so much major arcanas around you, or four. It seems to me that you are still adjusting to your newfound reality or your new insights. And you probably are still feeling a little bit unsure about how to move forward, and you're waiting for things to become clearer. But through all of this experience with the Moon card, you will reach some sort of enlightenment. The Moon card talks about, it's ruled by Pisces. So although it talks about the truth, it really talks about your own truth. Because the Moon card recognizes that there isn't really a truth. It's constantly changing. So it's finding your own truth, finding your own happiness in relationships, and really looking within to be able to clarify that. And if you are single, you're feeling quite good, you're feeling quite energetic, you've got the energy, you're feeling quite good about yourself, you're quite happy being single, you're quite happy for this brand new beginning. You might even feel quite energized by this whole experience. Taking on this new approach has really kind of, put some coal in your fire kind of thing. You feel very much energized by what's happened, and you feel ready for a brand new start. And again, with the Six of Coins, your environment might just seem more balanced. The Six of Coins also talks about value and knowing the value of something, and then giving it away. Or receiving it and being thankful, being really appreciative because you know the value of it. To me, it speaks to value, and being quite comfortable, in knowing your true worth. And I think everyone around you is very happy about that as well. or it's affecting your environment quite positively, and possibly even bringing in new love because of your newfound kind of knowing of what you bring to relationships, and knowing exactly what you want out of them too, knowing your value ultimately. And with the Hanged Man as your hopes and fears, you may be wondering again, how long is it going to be? Like, I'm still single, still contemplating. That might be a fear. But then your hope may be that, you do push through and you really do find this clarity that you're looking for. And you are taking the time out to really think about your past love experiences. And you're just hoping that through this contemplation, you will find balance. You will find that new, clearer perspective. You are looking for a clear perspective. You're hoping for a clear perspective. And with the Five of Swords, again, as I said before in the reading, it's really about you thinking about yourself. And, but then at the same time, if you guys single in relationships or just newly dating, do you find yourself feeling defeated because of this? Just remember that it's only for April. This is only the April reading, plus I'm late, so it's like 2 weeks to go anyway. So this is not a permanent thing. It's a minor arcana. If you do feel defeated, try and learn from it as best you can. Use that again to help in your contemplations about how you are going to move forward. Everything can be taken as a learning lesson. So yeah, it's never negative really. And especially with so many major arcana here, you definitely are being divinely guided. I always see the major arcana like that. Lastly, I'll just touch on the card that appeared at the base of the deck after I'd shuffled and laid the cards out. We did have the Universe, which talks about everything coming together. Everything finally coming together. So it looks like the lesson that you've learned, you have finally learned it. And whatever has happened is now being wrapped up, and you are now embarking on a brand new journey. Everything that has come for a reason, and it's now come to pass for a very good reason too. And that reason is that you've actually learned what you needed to learn on your recent journey in love. Yeah, it's the crystallization of everything that you've been working on. So that has now formed and become a crystal, as now can be used for you to build on. So yeah, you've reached a level of completion in your recent lessons in love. So I hope you have a fantastic April. Please do come back at the end of April, or May, beginning of May, where I will be uploading May's love videos. And please do leave comments, suggestions, ideas, anything with regards to this reading in the comment section below. And take care until then. I'll speak to you soon. Thanks for listening. Bye.